Hello and welcome to the Toast and Tea Book Club. This is a podcast where me and my friend Michaela talk about stories and then we write our own stories. We'll usually have a little book review for each podcast and then we'll assign some homework at the end probably. But before we get into it, is anything you wanted to talk about? Anything I forgot?
Yeah, no worries. Yep, I'm Michaela or Tia Animations. So yeah, we're just gonna do kind of a setup for here. We're gonna have updates, just anything that we thought might be a fun thing to talk about. We'll have a book review. We're planning on a monthly kind of setup for this. So once a month you can see us talking about books, and we'll probably complain about bad writing and weirdly timed things. It's fine. Yeah, we'll do our own writing workshops as we are both in the process of writing stories. I have a good 7 on the go, so it'll be fun seeing what I bring up each week.
Each month.
Each month, yeah. We got this.
Yeah.
We're figuring this out.
All right, and then I'm David, by the way, and let's jump into it. This time, we'll be reviewing The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. It's a YA fantasy trilogy set in Victorian London. I listened to this first, honestly, I think it was more than a year ago at this point. And it's a solid read. It's a fun read, although it has some tropes that we'll get into.
And I love me a trope. I do have a question to just right off the bat. You say it's YA, but man, is YA not that's a wide range.
It's gotten wider for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I remember when YA was I don't know, very set in what was allowed, and I feel like modern YA, they're getting some authors are starting to push exactly what kind of explicit stuff is allowed, and I feel like that's defeating the point of YA because I don't know, I feel like the audience for YA is 13 plus, right?
I always took it as 13. When you think about it in show ratings, that's usually 13 and below.
Yeah.
So I always think of the fact of YA, and I think my first thought is always warriors and just how brutal deaths in warrior cats were.
Yeah.
And I'm
that's fair.
I sometimes think back to that, I started reading that really young. And I'm
yeah.
I was reading cats murder each other from a young age.
Yeah.
But it's such a weird framing.
Yeah, I also remember when I was, around, that was 10, 11, I was reading the it was I cannot remember his name right now. It's the city cat villain. What was his name?
Scourge?
Yeah. I remember reading the Scourge graphic novel, and that was a little dark. Yeah. We will have to get to the Warriors books at some time. That'll definitely be something that we need to go over, because I haven't read that in a decade, and I assume you haven't either.
No, I haven't in probably about a decade, but I did read, I think, a good 40 or 50 of those books, and they're still going.
It's insane to me that there's that many.
Well, I mean, the first I read through initially let's see, so there's 6 series in the original set, and there were 6 books each. So yeah, 36 books there, and I read
6 series?
They're still going. That's where I stopped.
I didn't. Okay, so I remember I think the farthest I ever got was, I think, series 3, because that's where they got to the new place, right? With the lake.
Yep. Oh, I think it's hold on. Now
there's 3 more after that.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. I'm pulling it up because I remember even just while reading it being man, we just keep going. Okay, here's the books. I think I read through series 6 is what I think happened here. Dude, the Warrior Cats website. I miss this so much. I used to go on here all the time. Okay, so yeah, you had The Prophecy Begins, which is 6 books. That's the start of Fireheart. New Prophecy. New Prophecy. That was New Prophecy was getting to the new area. So that was only book set 2.
Yeah.
Then there's the third one, which was the Power of 3.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I only read through 4. That's right. So it was the 4, which was through The Last Hope. And that was
Okay.
the end of the like Firestar Line series of events. Then afterwards, oh no, this got so much longer. Okay, so Dawn of the Clans is set
Okay.
5. I never
Is
started that one.
it, I just for the name, I'm wondering, is that a
This is a prequel,
prequel?
return to the Dawn of the Clans to discover how the Warrior Cat clans came to be.
So that series has entirely new characters. All right.
All new characters. And then we jump back to the next one follows the events after Omen of the Stars. So then we're going all the way back. So this is A Vision of Shadows.
Okay.
Broken Code follows that. That's a whole nother 6 books. A Starless Clan, which follows that one.
What is it? What is that? The Cats Developed Democracy? What's what?
Follow the clans through the fallout of the destructive regime and the uncertainty of a changing code. I'm sorry, that's not regime, that's rain. I can't read.
It's like-
Um and then there's a new set which is Changing Skies, which follow the clans through a new adventure for cats both young and old. And that's 2 books so far.
okay.
Then there's the super editions.
Okay.
Which there are 18, and I have read. Let's see, I have read. Ooh, there's been some new ones. Bramblestar Storm, I read that one. So I've read the first 7 of the super editions.
Okay.
Yikes.
And then there's all the graphic novels and
Yes, how many graphic novels are there? There are currently 21 graphic novels. Or sorry, those are just the manga. There's 21 manga and then 3 graphic novels, which are graphic novels of the first series. Oh, here they are. I was like, I know I read more than that. Then there's the novellas. There are 16 novellas. There are 7 field guides. There are so many books in this series.
I'm just checking. Like, is this all by the same author? Because like
So
I
Aaron Hunter is technically, I think it's 4 authors,
okay.
and they go back and forth, which, to be fair, I never would have known that if I hadn't done a bunch of research beforehand, because, like, they write really well.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have suspected that except if it was 30 books.
It's more than 30!
He says it's 6 per series.
6 per series, until the very last one, which I believe is the most recent set, which only has 2 so far.
Okay, so yeah, so that's almost 40 like regular books, and then another, was it so 23 mangas, and then 7 supersets, and then how many novellas were there?
The novellas, there were, hold on, let me scroll back. Novellas, there are 16, but the super editions, mind you, there are 18 super editions, and all of those super editions were huge. Like, they were double the size of the, like, normal book series.
So yeah, this is this is like 60 or 70 like like just whole books, man. And this is just been it started in 2003. All right.
Dude.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? That'll get us some content. Just going back and forth on that. By the time we get to that, we might have to move to weekly just to get through it at some pace.
I know. Well, to be fair, I think we could definitely do weekly on at least the like first 2 sets, because I still remember them relatively like clearly. For those who don't know, I am big into the animation field, and yeah, I was big into animated warrior cats forever. Most of my people I follow on YouTube are still warrior cat animators.
I have to wonder if Warriors is still as popular as it used to be, because I remember when I wasn't in like middle school when I was reading these, that there were like half a dozen Roblox Warriors RP servers that I would go on to every once in a while.
Dude, those existed?
They were crazy because like in order to actually play, like Roblox didn't have any kind of like private lobby or anything like that. So in order to get on to play, when you logged in, it would pop up a quiz about warriors to make sure you were an actual fan in order to actually play on the server.
That's hilarious. And also, like, the best security ever? Like, no, you
Yeah,
gotta
no.
get facts right. What warrior died 6 times over from green cough every single meeting at Four Trees?
Yeah, no, it was that was wild. All right. Let's get back on track so I can maybe get through some of the series. So going back, yeah, we're gonna be talking about I think today specifically if we're going to going through Clockwork Angel, the first in the Infernal Devices series. This takes place in the wider Shadowhunter lore, which for those of you who might be familiar, is Cassandra Clare also wrote the Mortal Instruments series, which I believe is the same world but in a more modern
Yes.
setting, modern time period.
Okay.
But yeah, this book takes place back in 1878. And that's where we'll be spending the majority of the time here. Or jumping in, this story follows Tessa, or Tessa Gray. That is our main character. Tessa is a double orphan from New York. Her parents died when she was
I'm sorry, what does double orphan mean?
her parents died when she was young, and then more recently, her aunt who was taking care of her also died. And so now
Okay. Is double orphan your term, or
that's
please tell me that's in the
it's
book?
my turn.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, so because Aunt Harriet died, now she has to move from New York to London to stay with her brother Nate. Nate previously had left to go to London, and we'll find out why later. But so we open up. We are Tessa's getting off the boat, and she's met at the dock by a pair of really creepy old ladies by the names of Mrs. Dark and Mrs. Black. They're known as the Dark Sisters. They
Why
apparently
are they known as the Dark Sisters if one of them is Mrs. Dark? That's rude.
I don't know.
Why is she more important?
I don't know, honestly. Apparently these Mrs. Dark, Mrs. Black are Nate's employers is what they say. And they said that they're here to pick up Tessa to bring her back into London. Because I think yeah, because the boat took her to Southampton. I guess that was cheaper. So yeah, so they take her in carriage back. Turns out that was a lie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, the 1800s, different time. You can't.
uh,
You know,
Tessa ends up being kept prisoner by the Darks, because for
because
reasons.
she got in a carriage with two ladies she didn't know and just trusted them when they were like, "Oh, we employ your brother."
Yeah. So as it turns out, Nate has a big gambling problem and gambled his way into such debt that he owes the sisters quite a bit. And apparently, they took Tessa as a payment, I guess. This is important because during the time when she's a prisoner, the Darks trained Tessa to change is the term they always use. Apparently, Tessa has the ability to shapeshift as a thing that she can do. She didn't know about this. The Darks did somehow, though. And basically, as long as Tessa has like an object that's owned by someone else, she can like pull the soul out of that and turn into that person. It,
Okay.
yeah.
Um.
You got questions?
Okay. So first off, okay, with this setting of 1800s,
Yep.
I'm already down. We're already, very classic. We have to be in London if it's the 1800s to closing in on, 1900s. Got to be in London
Yep.
always. Also, so I am imagining Tessa has the most strong New York accent. She must. That
I
is
mean,
the
she grew
only.
up in New York, so probably, yeah.
Yeah, she better. I like the idea because there's a lot of different folklore about, your objects having bits of you in it.
Hmm.
But is this a world that magic exists
Kind
normally?
of. Kind of. We'll get to
Kind
that.
of. Okay, but like they just know. They just know she
The
can do
Darks
this.
already know that she can do this for some reason. She didn't know, and I think we find out later that Nate didn't know.
Okay. Also, what is the age difference between her and Nate?
I don't actually know. Let me pull this up.
And what are our starting ages? Because that's
So,
where I'm wondering. She must be young enough that she needs to have a caregiver
let's
to
see.
be sent all
Okay.
the way to London.
See. Tessa was born in 1862, which means that she is 16 years old.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So she's 16. Nate,
How's she not married yet? It's the 1800s.
Nate is 3 years older than her. So Nate's 19.
Okay, yeah, now that'll make
Yeah.
as
You
as
know
the
what?
kids
Like,
do.
they never actually talk about the age in this, so like I didn't think about this. I had to go to the actual the Shadowhunters wiki in order to find out how old they are. For some reason I imagined Nate was in his early 20s because that made more sense for him to like be a gambling problem.
I mean, to be fair, for the time frame,
I guess that's
that
fair.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
All right.
But I was imagining Tessa would need to be much younger than she is,
No,
given the time frame.
she's just 16. Apparently, we'll find out later. They have more. I think they'll be playing a little loose with some of the expectations, I guess, because later we'll find out that 18 is it actually is like age of adulthood, I guess, in London. I don't know if that was accurate at the time, but we'll get there.
I don't sus.
So
I think that's just the writer trying to cover their tracks like
Yeah, probably. Um, so there's a couple important things about Tessa's shapeshifting. The first is
mm-hmm.
the first time she turns into someone, she needs a talisman of some kind. After that, however, she can remember that shape and turn back into it without the talisman.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, she turns into the form when that person had the object. So like the last
Okay.
time they had that talisman is the form that she would take, which is important because one of the people that the Darks make her turn into is someone who was murdered, and so she turns into this let's see what's her name turns into this girl Emma Bayliss, who is apparently like they need to get rid of for some reason. And so when she turns
Mm-hmm.
into Emma, she starts bleeding from the gunshot wound that Emma had when she had the bow. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. So the bow is in like a hair bow, right?
Yeah.
Not like a bow and arrow.
It was a hair bow. Yeah.
I'm sorry. So they took this off a corpse.
Yep. Gave it to Tessa. Tessa changed into into that dead girl and started bleeding because of the gunshot wound.
So okay. So then, does Tessa then has this wound now? So if she transforms back.
When she transforms back, she transforms into her own form. There are no ill effects other than it's tiring, and also, the third important thing about her shapeshifting is she gets some of their memories when she does that.
Okay. Will she die in the form if she stays in it from blood loss?
That's never established. I don't think so.
So she is
because the
she's
blood's
just
not hers. Is the
freezing.
thing.
Yeah. So like, could she just stand there until the entire body is just empty of blood and then walk around like a vampire?
It's funny you say that.
Oh no.
We'll get there.
Here we go. Okay.
All right. So those are the important things about the shapeshifting. I think it takes her about 2 months to get like to the point where she's fairly comfortable with the skill. The Darks then tell her why they trained her with this is because she's to be married to someone called the Magister. And that will apparently settle the debt that Nate owes the Darks.
As you do.
Tessa's upset because she doesn't want to get married, and so she tries to escape, and then gets stopped by the Dark's like staff, who turn out to not be people; they're robots. Well, they're automata. They're made of metal.
Okay, you know what? We got magic already.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
well,
yeah, robot.
We're fine. We're fine.
Are robots a thing
Yeah.
elsewhere, or is this the first time we're seeing
This is the
robots?
first time we're seeing it.
Excellent.
So she gets recaptured, and then she gets like tied up, so that she can't escape. But then she does a smart thing and transforms back into to Emma, because Emma was quite a bit smaller than her, so she's able to slip out of her restraints because she's smaller. Um,
Okay, you know
so
what?
we
Intuitive. We've
start
got
to see
this.
that Tessa is decently intuitive when it comes to her power. That's pretty cool. So she goes to escape, but then, unbeknownst to her, at the same time, someone like walks into her room. This being our local angsty hot boy, William Herondale. Um,
Wait a minute. Hold on, David. David, I have a question.
yeah,
Is this a little story?
it is. It's the worst
Yes!
kind. I promise you, it's the worst.
This is gonna be great. Oh, I can't wait.
All right, so yeah, Will walks into the room, is looking around because like he's currently investigating the Darks because the Darks murdered someone, specifically Emma Bayless. And Tessa gets spooked, bonks Will on the head, as you do with a random stranger who walks into your room.
Yes, yeah. No, it's fair. Walked into her room, bonk on the head. Yeah.
Will
Just
starts quoting poetry and a couple of being really aloof, and then they decide, all right, let's get out of here. We don't want to be here anymore. So they go to escape.
I'm
This is
hold
an
on, I'm
important thing:
sorry.
is that Tessa loves reading literature. Will says he hates it, but at the same time can quote many of Tessa's favorite books.
Uh-huh.
You see you see why I hate Will. I don't hate Will. I do hate Will for a lot of this, actually.
You are allowed to hate Will, David.
So they're on their way out. They almost escape, but they get caught by the Darks. And a fight breaks out. We get two more mysterious people arriving, and they are apparently on Will's side. Mrs. Black gets killed, and then Tessa is knocked out. And that's where we end that scene. We come back in.
No, someone named Mrs. Black as well. Just made me like, how dare you?
So we come back in, and Tessa wakes up, and immediately, like hovering over her is this really creepy guy. I want to pull up an image of him because I don't have a good way of explaining this.
Wait, so does this book have illustrations or
No, it
is
does
it
not. But the Shadowhunters wiki does. So
fan
I
art?
don't know. It might
Is it
be. So standing over her is this like bald, pale man covered in tattoos, who speaks to her in her brain because apparently he's telepathic. Uh,
And you know what? All tall, creepy, bald, and with tattoos are
yeah, of
telepathic. Don't you
course.
know this? Haven't you worked retail before?
So we find out that this is Brother Enoch, who is a silent brother. Is the group he's with. And then Brother Enoch tells Tessa that she's not human. She's probably some variety of downworlder, which in this universe, downworlder means any kind of person that's not human.
Uh, uh,
I don't.
um,
It does feel a little derogatory, doesn't it?
yes,
Um,
a little bit. Did he call her a slur? Like,
I don't know. But specifically, he thinks that she might be a warlock, which in this universe, a warlock is someone who is part demon. And but he's not sure because she doesn't have any kind of warlock mark, which warlocks, for some reason, always have a physical manifestation of their demon parentage.
okay.
Whether that be like they have like clawed hands or like red eyes or like scales, like patches of scales on her skin, kind of thing.
Horns, that
It's
sort of
kind of
thing.
cool. It's like OC Central, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's making a
this is
warlock OC.
already set up for. Yeah,
Um,
you know what? And if there's something with angel wings, you know that every 12-year-old girl is making her angel winged OC with the hair over the eyes. And yes, I'm speaking from experience here.
but here's the thing: there's no angel winged warlocks because angels are a different variety of creature, and they don't make warlocks.
Okay, so angels exist. Okay. Now, what all exists in this?
So the
What did you call it? Down Earther? What was?
downworlders.
Downworlders.
So yeah,
Okay.
this is actually the part where most of it gets explained. So as it turns out, Will happens to be what's called a shadow hunter. Shadow hunters are descendants of a race of human angel hybrids. Um,
Of course they are.
yeah, which they're called shadow hunters, but they're also called Nephilim, which is strange because in a lot of other things, Nephilims are angel demons. But like it's whatever. Yeah, so the Nephilim
Okay,
or
but
shadow hunters are this race of human angel hybrids. There is no current. There are no like everyone is like 20 or 30th generation Nephilim though. There's no new Nephilim that are popping up anymore, and there's no more angels to pop down. And well, there are angels to pop down, but they aren't making new Nephilim anytime soon.
listen, they're not boning any humans anytime soon.
No, they're
They're
not.
kind of sick of humans right
And this
now.
is also where
Okay.
it comes in, that like they explain a little bit, that a lot of like the lore of this world is it's very Bible fan fiction. um
Okay. Oh no. Wait, okay.
So, specifically because it brings in is that Will and we'll meet later, a character named Jem, are what's called Parapatai, which is you get two Nephilim warriors, uh, and they basically do like a brother friendship like forever bond where they are like they fight better together and like they are always aware of each other and I think there's also a bit where like they can feel when the other person is in danger. It's very
So
um
this is a platonic partnership, like
it's supposed to be. Uh
oh.
it actually comes up in a later book that there is this there that there's a reason why uh partners don't become parapatai because like it messes things up, and also why it's kind of against the rules to date your parapatai. It's a little weird. But yeah, so these two shadow hunters, but then they go through this thing, and it's supposed to represent the original bond between King David and Jonathan Shadowhunter, uh, who apparently had a very platonic, very brotherly relationship. Um,
You telling me about this when you first read it? That this was that's right. King David and Jonathan.
also, why is his name Jonathan Shadowhunter?
Okay. Okay. I'm loving this so far. I am. I truly am. But man, if also the like some of the names, like you were like, or they're called this, and it's a much more sophisticated name that you're like, oh wow, okay, that's kind of neat. But this start with Shadow Hunter,
Yeah.
which is the most YA.
Hmm.
Like, this is my first fan fiction. Let's go. They're the Shadow Hunters.
Yeah. So
Jonathan Shadow.
it's I yeah, it's fine. Moving on a little bit. So then Enoch leaves, and then we're introduced to the rest of the residents of the London Institute, which is where Tessa is right now, which basically the way it's described is this is like a training center or for young
Mm-hmm.
shadow hunters, or aspirant shadow hunters, because technically they're not shadow hunters yet until they become of age and go through the trials.
Okay.
Uh, and apparently the institute is in what looks like to normal people just like a burned out old church.
Mm-hmm.
And
Of course, it's a church.
yeah, but apparently that's just like a glamour that's put on it so that mundanes don't realize what it is.
Mundanes.
Yes, those are regular humans who don't have the sight. Uh, and
So the Muggles.
the Muggles,
Okay,
yeah,
here we go.
it's definitely a little derogatory.
The
So
mundane.
yeah, so we are introduced to Charlotte Fairchild, who is the head of London Institute. Henry Fairchild, Charlotte's husband, who is also
Oh,
a very eccentric inventor, and then Jasmine or just not Jasmine, Jessamine Lovelace, who is a shadow hunter in training.
Okay.
Uh, After a while, they settle in a little bit. They have dinner. Will decides to walk Tessa to her room because apparently, the institute is like a pocket dimension where if you don't know where you're going, you will get lost. Like there is technically an unlimited number of rooms that they could have, and if you don't know where your room is, you'll never find it. Um, uh, just they just drop that for some reason. It's just a
Okay.
thing. Uh, Along the way, we meet the house servants, Agatha, Thomas, and Sophie. This is
Nice.
important. They don't come up as much, but specifically, there is a unspoken attraction between Thomas and Sophie. However, Sophie feels that she's unlovable because Sophie has a huge scar across her face. Because before she was at the institute, she worked for just a random nobleman, and that nobleman's son wanted Sophie, and Sophie rebuffed him, and so he was like, "All right, if I can't have you, no one will want you," and so scarred her with a knife.
Okay.
Yeah, and then she was fired because she was no longer pretty and couldn't be a sitting room attendant. Um,
All right.
yeah, it's the 1800s. What do you expect?
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. Wait, now where is the scar? How is the scar? Like,
Let me pull up I think there is some. Let's see. I might be able to get some imagery here. Sophie. All right. The image seems to be basically like from the corner of her eye down, curved around to her lip.
okay. I was thinking at first, I was like, did they just like kind of take the folklore of a Kuchisake One and then make it? But no, that would be if she was given like the Joker smile. Okay.
No. Yeah, no. It's like
But,
it's
ugh,
like all through her cheek.
ouch.
Yeah. And Will, when we meet Sophie, is a bit of a dick, and kind of makes fun of her. And this is another reason
In
why
true Will
why I
film.
hate Will. Um,
But he's so dark and brooding, David.
he's so dark and brooding, and also just the worst. But yeah, uh, then, so because she's mad at Will, she kind of storms off into her room. And then later she's woken up in the middle of the night because across the room someone's playing a violin. Uh,
In the middle of the
in the
night,
middle
they're
of the night.
just
So she
playing a
goes across the hallway
violin.
into the room across, and then here where we meet uh our second important person, our resident demure soft boy, Jem Carstairs. Um
Ooh.
uh and he's kind of this, like, I don't want to say fragile, but he looks like slim. He has like white hair and pale skin, and like
Our twink. Our twink of the set.
he's our soft boy twink. So that they have a little nice conversation, and then Jem starts like hacking up a lung, and then Will rushes in to I think Will shows up and to like, banter. Will acting like he's drunk. I don't know why. Because Tessa almost immediately realizes that while he's like slurring his words and acting a little weird, he doesn't smell
Mm-hmm.
like booze at all. And also, like, as soon as Jem starts like coughing up a lung, he immediately like gets alert and starts helping. So like for some reason, honestly, I don't even know why he does it, because like later it's not even very well explained that Will just pretends to be drunk sometimes.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Okay.
Uh,
You know what? We've all met that kid.
well, here's the thing. Later on, he also pretends to go to brothels and to like go to gambling dens, and like he pretends to be this like really dumb like jerk. I guess I don't know. We'll get to it.
Cause okay.
All right. Yeah. So Jem starts kind of hopping along, and then Will ushers her Tessa out so he can help Jem. Yeah. Jem and Will, they're pretty close. They're basically brothers because they're parapatai, right? And it's entirely platonic.
They're brothers,
Um,
only closer.
the next day, Tessa talks with Charlotte and Henry to explain like what's going on with Nate, which is she really wants to find Nate still.
Okay.
And so
I was gonna ask, like,
yeah, no, like
so what happened to the boy?
we'll get there. So Charlotte and Henry They go out and investigate, and they find basically through the documents that they recovered from the Dark House, one of Nate's former employers is a man named Axel Mortmain.
Okay.
And so they go to talk to him, say, "Hey, what happened to Nate? Where'd he go?" And Mortmain explains through a little bit of coaxing that
Mm-hmm.
Nate convinced him to introduce him to a social club for downworlders called the Pandemonium Club. Um,
Okay.
and the leader of the Pandemonium Club is called the Magister. And with a couple more threats, Mortmain finally reveals that the Magister is a vampire named De Quincy, who Charlotte knows is the head of the local vampire clan, and who was supposedly an ally of the Shadow Hunters.
Wait, hold on.
Hmm?
Hold on. I have questions here
Yes.
because the Shadow Hunters,
Mm-hmm.
the like half angels,
Yes.
are teaming up with the
It's
vampires.
not teaming up. It's the vampires are kept in check so that the shadow hunters don't have to go kill them.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
but there are
Okay.
rules and laws. It's called the Accords, or from the Clave. And basically
Hmm.
that's a set of rules that downworlders have to follow. Otherwise, the shadow hunters will come and kill them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, isn't that who she was promised to marry?
Yes, it is. So
Okay.
we're getting a couple more clues onto the Magister. Um,
Ooh.
so, do meanwhile, Jem and Will go back to investigate the Dark House, find one of the
Hmm.
staff members dead. Turns out they're not just those staff members aren't just metal automatons. They're metal automatons wrapped in human flesh. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it's kind of gross. Um, uh,
Interesting.
and then third cut, Jessamine takes Tessa shopping because Tessa has
Because
no clothes.
that's what the girls need to
Yeah,
do.
because Tessa has no clothes because she just came from prison, basically. Um,
Hmm.
uh, and then they go for a walk in the park afterwards because that's what girls do. Um, Jessamine confides that she doesn't want to be a shadow hunter and that she really hates this whole thing and that she wants to find a husband to take her away as soon as she's 18. Um, uh, she,
As you do.
she also tries to convince Tessa the charge to convince Tessa to move into an apartment with her because apparently, according to the social norms of the time, a woman living on her own is that's kind of frowned upon. That's kind of weird. But a woman living with her distant cousin, that's totally acceptable. Yeah, I know. Uh,
No, but that's still not like. Are they around this? They're like the same age, I'm
yeah, I
assuming,
think
since she's waiting to be 18.
Jessamine's 17 at this point. I think.
So it would still be frowned upon because if we're going off of the fact we're saying that 1800s England says minors or people are minors till they're 18, it would still be very frowned upon for two women of that age to be on their own.
Yeah, I thought so too, but that's apparently the deal. Uh, so when they're at the park, they walk into the woods, get a little lost, and then they stumble upon a goblin who accosts them. And
As goblins do.
yeah, as
This is
goblins do.
goblin slander. How dare they?
Specifically, the goblin says that he wants that shadow hunter blood because when the blood is still in the ground, that something about the forest will like grow like something that he wants from the shadow hunter blood. It's kind of weird. Uh, this is like one of like many times throughout the series that shadow hunter blood is like an important thing. For some reason. But instead of getting mugged by a goblin, Jessamine just straight up murders the goblin. Um,
Okay.
like she has a parasol that has magic blades along the spines, and so she just stabs him and like straight up murders him. Um,
Okay, can I be real though? That's kind of
it's
sick. I
kind of
like that.
badass. Like apparently
Yeah.
Henry made the parasol for her because she didn't want a regular sword because she thinks fighting is for the men. Like she wants to be a girl's girl and she wants to just be pretty and
Listen, she just wants to be a little lady, and we
yeah.
can respect that. Also, parasol knife is awesome. Like, let's just be real.
It's also kind of
I
good,
already
yeah.
love I love this woman already, and nothing I've had her for 2
I
minutes,
assure
and if
you,
anything
you won't
happens,
love her soon.
oh,
We'll
sadness.
get there. So we discover all that stuff. A few days later, we get a new face showing up at the Institute. A vampire named Lady Camille Belcourt. Who's apparently like friends with or friends as much as you can be with a vampire. With Will and with Charlotte.
Okay.
And she's like, "Hey, I think you should probably know, De Quincey has been throwing parties for downworlders that feature the torture and murder of mundane humans. That which is
Well,
very against the Accords." And yeah, so Charlotte and Henry and everyone was talking like, if we can catch De Quincey in the act, we can call in the rest of the Shadowhunters because apparently there are apparently a bunch of Shadowhunters outside of the Institute who are also in the London area that they just
mhm.
have their own thing going, I guess. But if they can catch De Quincey in the act, then they can call in the Shadowhunters and then just murk everyone there and bring them to justice, right? And
Okay.
then we can figure out what's going on with the Magister and like that. It'll be great. Um,
Okay, I have a new question.
yep.
Is it just because she's a warlock that they're keeping her around, or why is it that they're involving themselves?
So there a couple of things. First is the murder of Emma Bayless. Emma Bayless was a
Yes.
mundane, and that brought their investigation into this whole thing. And then the discovery of Tessa and the discovery of everything else kind of forced, because like the Shadowhunters are basically the supernatural law enforcement. And so if they don't investigate and enforce the laws here, then it'll
Mhm.
like reduce confidence in the system, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So Camille then also says, "Yeah, I'm chill betraying the rest of my vampire clan because De Quincey killed my former lover. Uh,
Oof.
because it's revealed later it's actually really shitty. Basically, Camille fell in love with a werewolf. But De
Mhm.
Quincey, being all vampire supremacist, said, "Ha, that's dumb. You should be with me instead," and killed the werewolf.
Oh,
Yeah.
yikes.
So they hatch a plan because they need to get into the thing, into this party without being
Mhm.
detected. And Camille doesn't want to go because she doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire if this goes down, right?
Mhm.
So the plan is Tessa will transform into Camille, who has an invite, and then we will bring Will along as Camille's human thrall.
Okay.
And then while they're at the party, they'll meet up with Camille's current lover, a warlock named Magnus Bane. Uh,
Mhm.
the totally normal name you'd expect for a person to have, Magnus Bane. Uh,
Yeah, this is a normal name.
and
Can they not tell that Will is part angel? Does
uh,
he have to announce that?
no, he doesn't have to announce that. And there's no physical manifestation other than his like preternatural strength and speed. But then those actually don't come from being an angel specifically. Those come from getting marks from a what's called a stele, which is like it's kind of like one of those ritual scarring tools.
Mhm.
That if you were to use it on a mundane would kill them, but on a shadow hunter, it like burns in and then gives them like extra powers.
Okay.
Yeah, it. Although apparently not all shadow hunters, because we find out a little bit later, not in this book, but it's a side story that someone else's like shadow hunter kid wanted to go through the rituals, and they
Mhm.
started to put the stele in, and then they just died. Um,
Oh,
yeah. Uh,
but Will's just better.
Will's just better. He's
That's why you love
built
him, David.
different.
That's why he's your favorite. He's built different, and he's clearly the superior choice.
So we get to the party. We're in the carriage. Tessa and Will are having a little bit of tension, as you would expect. Uh, but it's all good. They meet up with Magnus. And then in the there's a side library to De Quincey's house. They find some manuscripts that uh, indicate that De Quincey is working on a Clockwork army,
Okay.
and that's going to be a problem. But before they're able to talk about it much more, they get pulled into the main stage area, or the auditorium for the main event, in which
Okay.
De Quincey is up on stage talking about how vampires are so much better than everybody, and how the Shadow Hunters are uh like pig bastards. And then is like brings out his subject of human torture tonight, who turns out to be Nate. Nate's getting tortured.
Hey.
So clearly, the plan was for Magnus to escort Tess out before any blood was drawn. However, seeing Nate, she immediately blows cover.
Of course.
Will,
Because she's an untrained civilian
yeah.
that you've just randomly decided is gonna be a part of this.
Will signals the conclave, and then shadow hunters burst into the windows and start killing vampires. Um, uh, De Quincey, there's a bit of a fight. Will confronts him. Like he's on the back foot. Then out of sheer brilliance, I'm telling you, Will bites
Oh
De
boy.
Quincey.
Uh,
De Quincey is taken aback like that, and is about to kill Will until Tessa pulls out the gun that Camille has and then shoots De Quincey, which because apparently when you because like I said, like you also get some measures, you also get the skills a little bit. So she's able to shoot De Quincey. De Quincey has to retreat and run away. And then they rescue Nate and bring him back to the Institute. We're safe for a minute.
wait. Okay. Okay.
All right, you have questions.
I have questions. Firstly, what type of bullets were in the gun she shot?
Not magic ones, I don't think.
Was it
Um,
Were they silver? Is there some reason this vampire was like, a gun?
let me look up if these vampires do have weaknesses to silver. They're weak to holy items, to sunlight,
Yeah.
silver, and wooden stakes. Okay, man, they got tons of weaknesses. Yeah, they might have been silver actually, but oh no, silver is toxic to vampires and causes them to experience pain, headaches, nausea, though will not kill them. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll give you. She gets some of the skill for shooting it. Why did Will bite the vampire?
because he's built different. I mean, he's built stupid. This is the problem because Will then has to spend the next couple hours back at the institute just chugging holy water. Otherwise, that vampire blood in his stomach will turn him into a thrall for real.
Because he's an idiot.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But apparently Sophie's been the one who's had to bring him the holy water, and he's being a dick to Sophie as usual. And so Tessa decides to volunteer to bring him the water. And then uh, they talk for a bit, and then like he's kind of out of it, so he's like being a little bit more open, and then like they almost kiss. It's a thing. And then Will realizes and pushes her away.
Because he's too committed to his platonic partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tess is upset. But she decides that I'll just go. It's fine, whatever. Next day she goes in to check in on Nate to find Jessamine is there doting on Nate. And like immediately Tess connects the dots that Jess thinks Nate is her ticket out of there.
Ah. She's stupid.
Yes.
Oh, hun, why do we gotta make the girls stupid?
don't know.
Come on. Like, let girly pop be girly pop without being dumb. Come on.
But then we get to
Rude.
we get to the better side of this, where Tess is upset, and so Jem decides, you know what, I'm gonna try and cheer you up, and takes Tess to his favorite part of London, Blackfriars Bridge. And it's a really pretty place. Apparently, there's a glamour on it, so like you can kind of like half see things. It's really interesting.
Okay.
And then Jim also tells Tess about Will's past to kind of like explain things and like like he's a dick, but there might be a reason for it. I'll let you decide if this is a good reason.
Okay, I'm
So
ready.
Will's dad was a shadow hunter who left the clave to be with his mundane wife. To start there, when Will was a kid,
Okay.
he was going through his dad's things and accidentally found something called a Pixis, which is basically a demon Pokeball. You can trap a demon's energy in it. Um,
Okay.
he accidentally opens this Pixis, and out comes the great demon Marbus, who attacks Will, but his older sister protects him, dying in the process. Well, doesn't die immediately actually, but like she's knocked out, and is like poisoned. And then before leaving, Marbus looks at Will and says, "Hey, I curse you that all those you love will die unless you leave their lives forever." And then he leaves, and the next morning his sister dies from the poison, right? So
Okay.
little Will, he's like, I think he's like maybe 11 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks, oh no, I'm cursed. If I don't leave, everyone around me is gonna die. So he runs away back to the institute where he can be away from his family. And he still believes that anyone he loves, if he stays too close to them, they will die. That's the big reveal.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
How old is Will?
William Herondale. Let me pull it up. Will is to do 18.
Okay.
Well, 17 time of story. He turns 18 at the end of the year. He's yeah.
So he thinks everyone he loves will die
Huh?
because he's been cursed by a demon from a Pokeball.
Yep.
Okay. And his sister dies.
Uh-huh.
Does the rest of his family die?
He doesn't know. He left before he could find out.
That would have been a good thing to check. Has it been established that demons can actually curse people in this way?
Kinda.
Okay. So this isn't just like the demon threw out a bluff at a child. Okay.
It also
Will's still alive for
yeah.
now, at least.
There's also a little
So
bit. I don't remember if it's actually. Let me pull up. To remember correctly, there's something that he's not also not. You can't tell people about it. Um,
then how does Jem know?
I'm remembering this offhandedly. I'm trying to remember if it's actually a thing. Um,
Okay.
uh,
Cause like I understand the trope of if people get close to me, they'll get hurt, so I have to shove them
mhm.
away. I mean, you've seen Fruits Basket, I'm sure, at
Yeah.
this point.
Mhm.
But like
All right. I think I'm remembering wrong because I'm looking at the wiki here, and there's nothing about him not being able to tell anybody. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so Jem would know.
Yeah.
Why would he if a couple things. Firstly, he's not being a dick in the right way to be shoving people away.
Yeah. I
He's
know.
just kind of like inconvenienced
Mhm.
and the like pretending to be drunk. I guess like acting like a drunkard. People won't want to be around you, but also it's the 1800s.
Mhm.
Um in London. I can say that my husband's English. So like there's that. Why would he take Will as a partner
Aha.
if he thinks that everyone's gonna die that he's close to?
Because this is revealed I think like 2 chapters later.
Okay.
Jem is already dying
I mean, I figured with the coughing up blood thing, but why would Will agree to that if he's already
because
dying?
Jem decided that he wanted to be Will's friend regardless. Um and
Did he start dying after becoming
no.
his partner?
Mm-mm.
Because that would be hilarious.
Jem has been dying since he was a child. Because
Haven't we all?
Jem has a similarly tragic backstory where his parents were both shadow hunters. Um
Okay.
his mom actually led a raid against a demon nest and killed a whole bunch of demon children. That demon mom was not a fan of that, and so tracked them down and then decided to take Jem and in front of his parents slowly poison him to death with demon poison over the course of days. It was awful. By the time that the local shadow hunters could intervene, Jem's
Mm-hmm.
parents were already dead, and his body was addicted to the demon poison. So, Jem is dependent on a substance called. Let me pull it up here. Where is it? I don't have it written down, but he's dependent on this demon poison. Uh, he'll be in debilitating pain if he doesn't have it, and it will slowly kill him. Over time. That's why his hair is white. Is because it's been slowly killing him.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have our tragic backstories.
Yep. So
We are so YA.
yeah, we are. So we're at that bridge, and suddenly, Jem and Tess get attacked by some of the Magister's automatons. They roll up and start throwing hands. Realizing they're outmatched, Jem and Tess flee back to the Institute. But before they're able to get back, one of them knocks down Jem. But then Tess is able to alert the Shadowhunters inside, so they come out to help. The robots back off, but not before waving at them, showing that their hand is covered in Jem's blood. Just because as we've established,
Wait.
this is important. Shadowhunter blood is important
How do we know it's Jem's blood?
because he punched Jem until he's bloody.
Okay.
Jem was
Sorry,
bleeding.
I just was like, okay. I needed to establish this, and it wasn't just that he was waving a bloody hand around, and they're like, must be Jem's blood because he coughs up blood because he's ick.
Yeah. So Jem is recovering, and then so the Shadowhunters decide to interrogate Nate because Nate might have some information to help with what's going on. Nate explains
Why would Nate know?
because he was
he
was indebted to the Darks and by extension the Magister.
That's right. Okay, yes.
So Nate explains that he figured out about the Pandemonium Club not through Mortmain, but through his father's like journal. Turns out Nate and Tessa's father used to work for used to be Mortmain's business partner. And then but then left sometime after for some reason. I think this is explained in the later book. But so Nate comes to London and says, "Hey, Mortmain, I know about all this downworld stuff. You need to introduce me to the Pandemonium Club." And then immediately he started gambling his life away.
As you do.
And so then, yeah, apparently after getting into a load of debt, De Quincey offered forgiveness in exchange for Nate's sister, and Nate, being the perfect brother he was, agreed. And
Wow.
yeah. So, but then Nate tells the Shadowhunters the location of De Quincey's lair, where he probably retreated to, and that De Quincey was planning on using the full moon to bind demon energy to the Clockwork army to animate them on the full moon. This is apparently very close. So the Shadowhunters all leave to go deal with. So like all the adult Shadowhunters go to deal with De Quincey, leaving Tess, Will, Jem, Jess, and the staff of the Institute left. Then Mortmain shows up at the Institute, tells them that he found out that Mrs. Dark, who is now helping the Magister, and they need to stop her, else all the Shadowhunters will be in danger. So Will and Jem go to deal with Mrs. Dark. So all that's left is Tessa, Jessamine, and the staff. Not even an hour later, Mortmain shows up again, this time with a Clockwork army. De Quincey is not the Magister, is what's revealed here. It was Mortmain the whole time. Yeah. And then the automatons are actually able to get into the Institute because they have a hand of Jem's blood, and so they can use because only Shadowhunters can open the door. But I guess an automaton with Jem's blood is good enough. Yeah,
it's just like a blood skin.
Yeah, it's just like that. And then so that they come into the lobby, immediately kill Agatha, who is the servant that we didn't really talk about because she doesn't really do much in this first book, and he doesn't do anything else after this.
Just death fodder.
Yeah, and then Nate reveals, "Oh, guess what? I'm Mortmain's accomplice. I've been working for him the whole time."
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Who could have foreseen the brother willing to sacrifice his sister to clear his debts?
So
Wow.
Thomas tries to fight the automatons while Tessa, Sophie, and Jess escape. Mortmain ends up finding them. Then Tessa agrees to go with Mortmain peacefully if he spares Sophie and Jess. Reasonable request, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, two of the automatons take Tessa and Jess and Sophie, and then they leave, and then it's just the Magister and Tessa in the room as he's like reveling in his victory. So Tessa stabs herself in order to like deny him the victory.
I
Yep. Meanwhile, Jem and Will are confronting Mrs. Dark, but they discover, oh no, she's not helping the Magister. She's just trying to bring her sister back. Um, so they decide to rush back to the Institute. Will takes one of the horses of the carriage of their carriage so that he can get there back there faster, and then Jem lags behind. Will gets back.
because he's ill.
Yeah. Will gets back. Thomas is on the floor dying. He says, "Okay, I appreciate what you did. You were a good servant." And then goes to find everyone else.
Okay.
Will goes to find the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
What does he find?
if he finds Tessa bleeding out in the sanctuary with Mortmain, attacks Mortmain. Mortmain vanishes. Magic, that's how it works. Will mourns Tessa for a bit, confesses his feelings, and then Tessa wakes up and reveals it was all a trick because she just changed into the dead girl again, and all, and so all that blood wasn't hers.
Hold on. What? That wouldn't he?
She turned away so he wouldn't see her face change.
What, did she have the same color hair? We already said that she's smaller. She would have changed size.
Apparently not enough for the Magister to notice.
But hold. And Will didn't notice?
No, he didn't. He was too busy confessing his love for her.
No, hold on. Cause I guess. Well, no. Wait, hold on. She's promised to the magistrate.
Yep.
By people who would have told him she was a warlock that can transform.
Yep.
So wouldn't he know to check?
Apparently not. Yeah, I know. It's convoluted. So, meanwhile, Jem gets back, finds Nate leading a few automatons who are carrying Jess and Sophie, and then also a Pixis. Nate orders them to kill Jem. Jem holds them off for a minute. However, Nate is able to escape into the night with the Pixis before Charlotte and Henry arrive to finish off these automatons.
Okay.
And that's the end of the battle. Everyone's disappointed. No one won. They lost to Pixis. They lost Thomas and Agatha. It's not great. Charlotte asks Tessa to stay at the Institute while they're figuring everything out. This is great because Tessa thought she was gonna have to leave, and so Tess, excited, goes up to Will saying, "Hey, I can stay, and I know how you feel. So can we be together? This would be great, right?" And instead, Will was like, actually, why don't we just be like something like friends with benefits? Like we don't need anything serious. And besides, no Shadowhunter would want to be with a warlock. I mean, but then he points out, you know what? Also, it'd be pretty convenient. I mean, as a warlock, you're sterile, so you don't have to worry about it.
Hold on. We're going into a friends with benefits thing in a YA book?
Tessa's not happy about this. She's not cool with this. Will is just being a dick.
I know, okay, we already know why Will's doing this, because anyone who loves me die, but friends with benefits, because that's skirting the line.
He thinks as long as it's a casual relationship and there's no actual feelings, he doesn't mind it, and it's not like it would be pretty convenient either way. So
plus I'm racist against warlocks.
Yeah, everyone is. So Tessa, understandably upset. She goes and Jem actually finds her and tries to comfort her. And Jem says, quote, that although she feels like she's unlovable because she's not human, the right man won't care. So Tess doesn't realize what that means. But it's very clear that Jem might have some feelings for her.
I'm shocked.
And then epilogue is just a little scene where Will runs into Magnus and says, "Hey, Magnus, I need help," and then cut to black.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you know that I'm always down for a good magnet.
yeah, but no, it's kind of wild. I will jump like in the very beginning of the next book. It's revealed what he's looking for. Apparently, Will wants an anti-love potion. Because he doesn't want Tess to love him, and he's doing a very bad job of it.
Okay. I don't know how he's doing a bad job of it. He's
I don't
so
know.
ridiculous.
It's weird.
Okay.
So, thoughts on the first of the Infernal Devices series?
You know, I'm enjoying it. I definitely much tropey, which I just it's so much fun to read and just like, well, that happened. I still have a lot of questions how the world works and how much of it is like is this Harry Potter situation or it's just like, oh,
kind of.
just
Yeah, so basically the way I understand it is downworlders basically I don't remember if it was natural glamour or if they are just like told to remain in glamored areas unless they glamour themselves before going into the regular public. But yeah, basically downworlders can't reveal themselves to mundanes willy-nilly, I guess. And then also some mundanes are born with the sight, which lets them pierce glamours.
okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I've done that in a couple of things. Kind of surprising that it's like, oh no, she's actually. Well, no, it's not. It's not surprising that Tessa is secretly a warlock. I'm just surprised we found out she's a warlock.
I assure you, it's more complicated than that.
Oh, I knew it was going to be. This wouldn't be a
Yeah,
YA.
because you can't forget something special that she doesn't have a warlock mark.
Yeah, so clearly
Which
she's
is
something else.
yeah.
She'll be some special third option no one knew could be possible.
I'd forgotten a good amount of this, and it definitely was a bit of a treat, honestly, to get caught up again with it. Yeah, and I want to be clear. I enjoy these books as much as I rag on them for their tropey writing and their sometimes convoluted plots. I still enjoy them.
Yeah, I always enjoy the just random yeah, we're just go ahead and just like sometimes going back and something is just so incredibly enjoyable.
So jumping into the second half of this podcast, second half of our show, we talk about our own stories.
Writing.
Go to writing. Get a little transition jingle. All right. Do you? I guess do we want to each talk about our stories, or do we want to just since you have like something written, do you want to read that out, or do you want how do you want to do this?
Well, let's first go ahead and talk about what kind of our things that we'll cover. So for me, I've two or three that are currently in storyboarding. One animated, the other two both probably gonna turn out to be comics. As well, I'm a nerd and I've got a fan fiction that I'm working on it right now. As you know, I am up to my neck in TMNT. So I've already got chapters of one-shots posted here, ready to go. What are you working on?
I am working on a little. It'll probably end up being a novella, just because I don't think the story is going to end up being that long. Then again, it might spiral into something huge. I don't know. But I'm working on a little story about a the best way to describe this story about a man who lost his his home and his family to an evil wizard of sorts, and has since spent his days hunting down that sorcerer by any means he can find. The complications being that when when he lost his family and his home, he died too. He just didn't realize. Uh, our main character Quinn is being kept alive by being kept alive by powerful fell magic that his adoptive mother bestowed on him when he was young. Very much a I realize unintentionally that this character has a similar power set to Michael Afton, in the sense that after he got scooped, he didn't die because baby said he wouldn't die. And I don't know if
Okay.
that's if that's too deep a cut. I don't know. But yeah,
Listen,
the story will fall.
we're nerds out here.
Yeah, the story will follow Quinn as he goes through hunting down fell beasts. Fell being the kind of other world in this universe. He was raised by matron Melody, this fell this ancient fell creature, and then the sorcerer used fell magic in order to destroy everything in his life for his own purposes, and now he is hunting any traces of fell magic to try and get back to that sorcerer.
Yes, excellent.
Along the way,
Yeah.
there will be a companion. I have not decided on that companion yet.
You know what? Maybe we'll get more ideas for the companion as we continue more books.
Maybe. I mean, that is kind of the goal of this show is to writers read is the old adage. What are you working on?
Yeah, when right now the main thing on is going to be my own variant of Teenage Mutant Turtles. I do also have probably going to be either a short story or novella, which is going to be a horror-based folklore that I'm placing out of system, which I'm
Cool.
excited to work on, but that one's been slow. But for the fan fiction, because that's at least what I've got some stuff prepped. It is actually take thought in mainly due to consistence. So this will be actually in Tokyo, specifically Espresso, because not lived there, been there before. I spent a good week or so, so I'm going to be using it as a kind of base area, and then slowly work out the how to put it, the interactions between characters and their backstories. So I've been working out things, how Splinter came to be, how each came to be. Each of them is of different species of turtle, so each have their own unique design. The way that mutagen affected. Also got some characters because of being a Japan setting instead of being from New York. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on right now. Otherwise, yeah, just a lot of things that probably, but for right now, will probably be the main thing that I'll be bringing to this. Just because I'm already 2 introspective character chapters in, and I'm working on a 3rd already.
That'll be real neat to hear.
The first one definitely changes tense. I need to go through and fix that at some point. I wrote it all during my lunch.
So no, in a way that
Yeah,
sounds like it's closer to like the flash fiction, just because how fast you're doing it.
Yeah, because it's more of, I guess, in a way, short stories to do fleshing out how I want characters to be, and kind of some of the backstory wouldn't necessarily be like in just its own fan fiction. These would kind of be one shots of them. But it's for some reason Casey Jones has been like the main focus of the first 2, which was kind of a considering up until like I guess watching the current series I'm on. Casey is not one of its.
No,
which is surprising. I know. Mind you, I'm reading through everything, but in reverse. So Casey doesn't even exist in the mutant ones. He gets introduced at the tail end eyes. And then 2012 just up Casey, the whole weird, like, it also dealt triangle, and it was very fun. Listen, both Casey and Otello could have done, and even April better. Why are you chewing on the wheel? Target me. The puppy is chewing on the wheelchair. But yeah, you see Jones being the like hockey kid that he is would be more of a way more of a like favorite character. Shocker, it's Raph. No one could have seen this coming. Do I have a character I like? No, not at all.
No, of course not.
It's fine. I don't have a specific trope. Oh. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm taking a bit from the Rise things where I am going to include like monsters that
Cool.
be a thing that does. I know not all of them weird because TMNT has always gone back and forth on what just a like sci-fi or heavy, and so I kind of charge it more, but we'll see. But yeah, it's been fun.
Then I think we'll probably close out here for today. Hope everyone enjoyed this. We'll come back and review. We'll jump in to review Clockwork Prince next. And then the next week we'll also be able to next time we'll also read some of our writing out. And then yeah.
Yeah, go from there.
You can find it.
Sounds good.
You can find us on YouTube and Patreon. Just look for Toast Crumbs. Links are in the description.
See y'all next time. End scene.